Hey there, welcome back again. It's Networking Basics for SOC Analysts, Part 2 of 2. How to pass the TryHackMe SAL1 multiple choice exam. Once again, my name is KD, and this is CyberDefend Lab. Okay, here we go. Introduction to Networking Basics for SOC Analysts, Part 2 of 2. You ever get one of those phishing emails so obvious, even your grandma wouldn't fall for it? You know, the ones that say something like, "Congratulations, you just won a free iPhone." Like, really? Who's out here giving away iPhones for free? Come on. But somehow, people still fall for these scams every day. And that's exactly why email security is one of the biggest headaches in cybersecurity. Hackers love email. It's like the fast food of cybercrime. It's cheap, fast, and delivered to millions in seconds. One bad click and boom, malware, credential theft, or worse. Here's the situation. Let's be real. Email is one of the biggest attack vectors in cybersecurity. Every single day, SOC analysts see phishing attempts, credential stuffing, and malware laced attachments flooding inboxes worldwide. And if you're working in a SOC, you better know exactly how to detect, analyze, and respond to these threats before they cause real damage. 91% of cyber attacks start with email, according to Verizon. But here's the problem. If you don't understand how email actually works, spotting these threats is going to be like trying to read a foreign language with no translation. That's why in this video, we're breaking it all down. SMTP, IMAP, POP3, SSL TLS, encryption, and even real-world packet captures to analyze email-based attacks in Wireshark. Mandatory disclaimer. All right, quick heads up before we dive in. CyberDefend Lab is not affiliated with TryHackMe, and we don't have any insider knowledge on the SAL1 exam. This series is purely based on publicly available material, and our goal is to help you structure your studies and prepare for the multiple choice section of the exam. We're here to give you a structured study guide, not to leak exam questions. So, let's get started. Part 1, Email Transmission Workflow, SMTP, IMAP, POP3. Concept breakdown, how emails actually move around. All right, let's break this down. When you hit send on an email, it doesn't just magically appear in someone's inbox. There's a whole behind the scenes relay race happening, with different protocols playing their part. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, the email dispatcher. Think of SMTP as the postal service of email. It's responsible for sending emails from your device to a mail server, which then routes it to the recipient's mail server. No SMTP means no emails getting sent, period. So here we have sender, SMTP server, recipient's mail server. Key takeaway, SMTP is only for sending emails, not receiving them. Let's jump down to the next one, IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, the email synchronizer. Now, when it comes to receiving emails, we've got two major players, IMAP and POP3. IMAP is like having your inbox stored in the cloud. Every time you check your mail, your device syncs with the server to show you the latest messages. Why companies use IMAP? Access emails from multiple devices, and emails stay on the server unless manually deleted. POP3, Post Office Protocol 3, the old school downloader. POP3, on the other hand, is the download and delete method. It grabs emails from the server and stores them locally on your device. Once it's downloaded, it's gone from the server, like old school snail mail delivery. Why POP3 is rarely used today. Emails aren't synced across devices, and losing your device equals losing all your emails. Real world example, why IMAP is the standard today. Imagine this, you're using IMAP, so you check your work email on your phone, then later on your laptop. It's all synced up. Now, let's say your computer was using POP3. That means when you check an email on your phone, it's gone from the server and won't appear on your laptop later. Frustrating, right? That's why businesses stick with IMAP. How attackers exploit these protocols. Hackers love SMTP misconfigurations. If a mail server isn't locked down properly, attackers can send emails pretending to be from your company's domain. That's called SMTP spoofing. And guess what? Most users can't even tell the difference. Real world case. Attackers use SMTP spoofing to send fake invoices from a trusted email from a trusted company email address. Common attack scenarios. How criminals exploit email protocols. SMTP spoofing. Hey, it's your boss. Click this link. Cybercriminals forge the sender's email address, making it look like it came from a trusted source. That's how phishing attacks get past unsuspecting users. Business email compromise, or BEC. Social engineering at scale. Hackers impersonate executives, tricking employees into transferring money or sharing sensitive data. BEC scams cost businesses billions every year. IMAP and POP3 credential theft. Man in the middle attacks. Attackers set up fake Wi-Fi hotspots, intercepting credentials and users check their email. If email traffic isn't encrypted, it's game over. The problem. Here's the reality. If you don't understand how these email protocols work, spotting email-based attacks is like trying to read a book in a language you don't speak. SOC analysts must know the ins and outs of SMTP, IMAP, and POP3 to catch cyber criminals before they strike. Engagement tip. Let's talk phishing. Have you ever received a sketchy email that was obviously a phishing attempt? Maybe an unexpected Amazon confirmation order? Or your PayPal account has been suspended? You ever get one of those messages? Drop a comment below with the funniest or scariest phishing email you've ever seen. All right, let's keep going. Part 2, SSL, TLS, encryption and data security. Let's break down this concept. What is SSL, TLS? Ever notice that little padlock icon in your web browser? That's SSL, TLS in action, protecting your data from eavesdroppers. But if that padlock is missing, well, you might as well be shouting your passwords in a crowded room. SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, and TLS, Transport Layer Security. These protocols encrypt data in transit, making sure that emails, passwords, and sensitive information don't travel the internet in plain text. Think of it as sending a letter in a locked safe instead of a transparent envelope. How SSL TLS protects email. Encryption. It prevents attackers from reading email contents. Prevention of man-in-the-middle attacks. That's MITM. MITM attacks. Ensures data isn't altered during transmission. Authentication. Uses certificates to verify that email servers are legitimate. Without SSL TLS, email traffic is completely exposed. Anyone sniffing network traffic, whether it's a hacker, a rogue Wi-Fi admin, or even your nosy ISP, they can read every single email you send. Real world example, how hackers bypass SSL TLS. All right, so we know SSL TLS is supposed to protect our data, but hackers have tricks to get around it. Let's talk about two of the most common attacks, SSL stripping and fake certificates. Starting off with number one, SSL stripping. Downgrading HTTPS to HTTP. Imagine you're logging into your email on public Wi-Fi. Normally, your connection is encrypted, but a hacker using SSL stripping forces your browser to connect over unencrypted HTTP instead of HTTPS. That means your login credentials are now traveling in plain text right into the hacker's hands. Real world case. Hackers have used SSL stripping to steal credentials from major email providers when users log in over unsecured networks. Number two, fake certificates. The digital imposters. SSL certificates help verify that a website is legit. But what if an attacker tricks your browser into accepting a fake certificate? Now, instead of talking to your bank's real website, you're handing over your password to a hacker's cloned site. Real world case. In 2019, researchers found fake certificates being used to intercept encrypted communications, allowing attackers to read sensitive emails and messages. The implication of unencrypted email. Let me put this in perspective. If an attacker intercepts unencrypted email traffic, they can read everything: your passwords, your work emails, your bank notifications. Heck, they can even read those "congratulations, you've won a free cruise" types of emails that you keep ignoring. That's why SSL TLS encryption is non-negotiable for email security. If your organization's email if your organization's email server isn't enforcing TLS, it's basically handing out sensitive information on a silver platter. Engagement tip. Let's talk website security. Have you ever visited a website and seen that "not secure" warning in your browser? That's your browser telling you that SSL TLS isn't doing its job. Drop a comment if you've ever ignored that warning or if you know someone who does. Part 3. Packet capturing and real world attack analysis. What is packet capturing? The SOC Analysts digital microscope. All right, so we've talked about how emails move and how they're secured with SSL TLS. But what if we want to see what's actually happening under the hood? That's where packet capturing comes in. What is packet capturing? Packet capturing lets us monitor network traffic in real time, helping us spot suspicious activity like unencrypted emails, brute force attacks, or malware communicating with command and control servers. That's C2 servers. Tools used: things like Wireshark, the gold standard for deep packet inspection, and TCP dump, lightweight command line packet capturing tool. Think of packet capturing like reviewing security footage, except instead of people walking through doors, we're tracking data packets moving through the network. How to capture email traffic in Wireshark. Now, let's say we suspect something sketchy is happening with email traffic. Here's how you can capture and analyze email packets using Wireshark. Step 1. Filtering for SMTP, IMAP, or POP3 packets. SMTP, port 25, 587, 465, captures outbound emails. IMAP, port 143, 993, and POP3, port 110, 995, captures inbound emails. TLS versus unencrypted traffic identifies whether email communications are secured. Step 2. Detecting unencrypted email content. If an organization isn't enforcing TLS, emails might be traveling across the network in plain text, meaning anyone with access can read them. SOC Analyst tip. If you see login credentials in plain text inside Wireshark, congratulations. You just found a security disaster in progress. Step 3. Identifying suspicious outbound connections. One big red flag: an internal email account suddenly sending a ton of outbound SMTP traffic to random external addresses. That's a strong sign of a compromised account being used for spam or phishing. Real world example. Hackers often hijack legitimate email accounts to send spam, hoping to bypass email security filters. Real world attack example. A compromised email account sending spam. Let's walk through an actual attack scenario. A company notices that one employee's email account is sending thousands of emails per hour. Suspicious? Definitely. Let's investigate using Wireshark. Step 1. Capture SMTP packets. First, we apply an SMTP filter in Wireshark to capture all outbound email traffic. Step 2. Analyze email headers. Legitimate email versus spoofed email. Check sender addresses for inconsistencies. Timestamps and volume. Is this normal traffic or an anomaly? Step 3. Identify command and control C2 traffic. Next, we look for any external connections linked to known malicious domains. These could be C2 servers, where attackers are exfiltrating stolen data. SOC tip. If an internal machine is communicating with a blacklisted IP, it's likely part of a botnet or malware campaign. What's the benefit of mastering packet capturing? Mastering packet capturing makes you a detective in a digital crime scene. You can track every move a hacker makes, from stolen emails to malware phone home signals. That's why SOC analysts rely on tools like Wireshark to catch threats before they escalate. Part 4: Identifying malicious traffic in Wireshark. Step by step guide: catching malicious email traffic in Wireshark. All right, let's go full SOC analyst mode and hunt down some malicious email traffic using Wireshark. If an attacker is trying to brute force an email account, send spam, or communicate with a command and control C2 server, Wireshark will show us the evidence. Step 1: Filtering for SMTP authentication attempts. Apply the filter smtp.request.command =auth. Look for repeated failed login attempts. If you see dozens or hundreds of failed logins in a short period, it's a clear sign of a brute force attack or credential stuffing attempt. Step 2: Detecting brute force attempts against mail servers. Look for a single source IP making multiple login attempts within seconds. Cross-check with known brute force tools cross-check with known brute force tool signatures. For example, Hydra or Medusa. If you see one IP hammering the login screen over and over, congrats. You've just found an active brute force attack. Step 3: Analyzing a real phishing email's packet flow. Capture and inspect SMTP headers in Wireshark. Look for mismatch from and reply to addresses. Trace the email's path to detect spoofed domains on. Actually, let me read that again. Trace the email's path to detect spoofed domains or open relays. A legit email from your CEO should not be routing through a random mail server in Russia. If it is, that's SMTP spoofing in action. Common indicators of malicious email traffic: frequent failed SMTP logins, credential stuffing attack. Attackers use massive lists of leaked passwords to brute force email logins. If a user's credentials have been compromised in a past breach, they are at risk. Outbound SMTP, messages sent in bulk. Compromise account spamming. Imagine an HR employee's email suddenly sending 10,000 messages in an hour. That's not normal. It's a hijacked account being used for a spam campaign. Connections to known malicious IPs, command and control traffic. Use ip.dst == known malicious IP. Filter to check outgoing connections. Cross-reference IPs with threat intelligence platforms like VirusTotal. If an internal machine is constantly talking to an IP flagged, let me read that again. If an if an internal machine is constantly talking to an IP flagged as a botnet C2 server, that's a serious incident and it's time to investigate. Real world example: the hacked email server. Let's paint a picture. You're monitoring a corporate email server when suddenly outbound email traffic spikes to 50,000 messages per second. That's not normal. That's a hacked account or a misconfigured SMTP relay being abused for spam. What happened? A user fell for a phishing email. Their email account got hijacked. Attackers used it to send massive amounts of spam. How do you catch it in Wireshark? Look for abnormal SMTP traffic volume. So look for abnormal SMTP traffic volume. Identify connections to suspicious external mail servers. Check authentication logs for unauthorized logins. SOC analysts see this all the time. One compromised account can be turned into a spam cannon in minutes. Engagement tip: Have you spotted a suspicious email before? Hit that like button if you've ever seen a sketchy email but weren't sure if it was real or fake. Drop a comment with the weirdest phishing email you've ever received. Okay, part 5, call to action and next steps. We're going to summarize the key takeaways, what we learned today. All right, let's quickly recap what we covered today because this was a packed session. SMTP, IMAP, and POP3 control how emails move. Knowing how they work helps SOC analysts catch cyber threats. SSL, TLS, encryption is non-negotiable. If it's not enforced, attackers can read everything you send. Packet capturing is like security footage for network traffic. It helps spot brute force attempts, phishing, and malware activity. So that's packet capturing is like security footage for network traffic. It helps spot brute force attempts, phishing, and malware activity. Last but not least, Wireshark is your best friend in a SOC. Mastering it will make you a next level analyst. So, keep going, keep learning. As always, I believe in you. You can do this and you will make it. Subscribe to CyberDefend Lab. If you're serious about cybersecurity and want to ace the SAL1 multiple choice exam, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Next video, we should be touching a little bit on operating system basics and application security. But before that, we might do another set of 20 questions for exam samples of multiple choice questions. So that would be exam number 2, and that would be a practice exam number 2. So we might do that next and then jump into operating system basics and application security. So you don't want to miss it. Drop a comment. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the craziest phishing email you've ever received? Maybe a fake invoice, a Nigerian prince or princess. Drop it in the comments below. Once again, my name is Katie, and this is Cyber Defend Lab.